Right, and now let's continue. So let's do some adjustments here and there, because I feel like some parts we can highlight even more using color. I want to start with this maybe engine, and it's one, which could be less reflective. Metal, we're gonna go advanced parameters and maybe lower down the roughness. By that, maybe let's at the same time maybe make it brighter. And then what we can do here. Let's check. That apply to all the engines. Yes, that's very nice. Very nice. Let's maybe highlight it a bit, like those things here. Let's create a fill layer. I'm gonna name it metallic or metallic. Nice. And let's actually make it metallic. Roughness could be something like that. We don't need any emissive. I go to black mask here. And I guess we can't do it this. A bit tedious work, but I would like us to have more details and pop up. And let's do, so we have keyboard down. Nice. And now we do a couple more here. Actually 4, I think. Good with actually shift. We can actually hold on shift and just draw a line like this. Really nice tool. It was for a while. Here. Right, something like that. So you see now it's more visible. We can do the same thing here actually. Yeah, let's go actually deep inside. Right, can we see that? We kind of can't, but let's just in case highlight it a bit. Maybe it will be visible at some point. And we can also highlight those guys at the same time. Maybe even this guy. Can I do it with UVs? Let's check. Damn it. Manually. Some UV stretch there going on. Nobody saw that. Let's see if it's going to be visible. Yep. Very nice, very nice. Maybe even this thing can also be having this metallic. I think we should make it maybe not so bright at the same time. So I would like it to have a different kind of material type, but not when it comes to color. Like it shouldn't be that different. I would like it to pop up, but not super much, because right now it's just pure white, basically. Is it white? Yeah, it's just close to white, I would say. Maybe we will highlight this, but I'm not sure. We will see more when it comes, when we're gonna put that to Unreal. Right, looks kind of nice. Kind of nice. let's go. So here, let's also save this just in case. Let's maybe, you see we have this thing going, this kind of color. Let's check our base color again. You see, they are kind of the same. So I would like this to be maybe less the same, less the same. Go to parameters here. Advanced parameters, sure. Then let's make it brighter. This. Maybe even more, because you see, like, since it's, I guess it has the same amount of roughness, that's why we can see that, we can tell that much. So let's maybe make it less rough, more polite. Yeah. All right, looks pretty nice. Let's also, you see we have a line here that we also can highlight. So let's do that also. Also. We have a emissive layer here, which is very nice, but we need this orange one. I don't think I want to add more emissive, because you see we already have a few stuff here going on. Might be too much already when it comes to glowing. Bit of design. And again, I'm holding down shift in some cases, like right now, for example. All right. It's nice. We're almost there. Too much. Can't, because this somehow this is the screw layer here. Do it again. And I was like, why wasn't it working? God damn it. Almost there. Almost there. And here we are. Okay. So now we have a bit more details. Details. Maybe, what about this part actually? This, you see we have so much of kind of shapes here going on, and yet they're the same color. So what if we gonna break this a bit? Let's think, we could make it orange. Let's see if it's symmetrical. It's not symmetrical. Let's try to make it orange. Is it gonna look better? It's gonna be stupid. Maybe it's maybe too orange. Orange details. Right now it's just a test, so it will be a bit sloppy. Don't judge me that much. Is it better? Is it better? Well, let's just leave it like that, I guess, and we'll see how it looks like in Unreal with all the lighting and setup and stuff. This one. It's symmetrical. Can I actually do it again with the UVs? Okay, so it's okay. See, it's not like symmetrical 100% somehow. Let's fix it here. Okay. Okay. Nice. So I'm gonna put 6, so now we don't have that much perspective. Yeah, maybe actually this is, but then we do have now this bright color, darker color, and the unique color, which is in our situation is orange. Very nice. Need to highlight myself a bit more. Let's do it. Maybe. Oh. Well, I tried. Still not highlighted enough. Well, anyways, okay, let's actually go back to this D1 because, as I forgot, I made it too metallic, and now let's actually, like, not metallic, but I would say maybe too bright. So let's make it darker, maybe close to the original color here, which was blue. And then yeah, you know what, I think now we can actually finally go and render, or at least set it up in Unreal. The first thing I will show that I have made a pre-made scene here that looks like this. So as you can see, it's basically a couple 4 lights. All of them are kind of on the floor, and I made this backdrop. So I had 2 of them actually. I decided to go with this one. Let's see. So it looks like it's like this. So it was just a square that I cut the top area and the face area, like here on the front, and then just beveled. So this is how it looks like here. Then as you can see, we have some reflectiveness going on. I created this floor material, which looks pretty basic. It's just, I basically pressed 4 on the keyboard, made that as a parameter, convert to parameter basically, and then connected it to base color here. And then I pressed 1 on the keyboard like this, hold 1 and press, and you're gonna get those values. And then I named them metallic and roughness, and then basically convert to parameter. And this is what we get here. I'm gonna press no, and then I click create instance material, and this is what we get at the end. We have this floor now, and we have this metallic roughness and color that we can change. Let's see. Nice. So we can adjust the reflectiveness also of the floor, which is pretty cool, and we have some control of the color. This also might not be that visible because we have a lot of blue lights. Right, so I also have this texture folder, and we're gonna put our textures here. So let's finally export our textures. So I'm gonna file, export mesh. We're gonna select everything here. Maybe accept glass because we don't have that much on glass. And we're gonna put this to bike, and we have textures record. Select. I'm gonna use Starg, I think, and I'm gonna, just in case, I'm gonna put it to fact. And I wanna make sure we don't have this suffix of the mesh. Do we have that? Yes, we have this stupid mesh suffix. I would like to delete, or maybe, yeah, we don't need mesh here. So I would like it to be only having this naming like D1, D2 instead of bike D1, bike D2, you know, it's just too much information for me. All right, so now let's check our record. We have our textures here. I'm gonna put it to list. Really nice. So now I'm gonna drag those into our scene here. So folder is texture. So make sure everything is organized so that you're not gonna be lost in your stuff, in your files. So I'm gonna drag those guys here like that. Right? And then let's check just in case our so this should be default. Just in case if you have your roughness metallic occlusion map, when you're gonna go to compress settings, make sure it's gonna be default GTX whatever that we have here, or else it's not gonna be reading your metallic. You see, it says normal map. It shouldn't be normal map. It should be GTX1 thing. Let's go to another one here. Save. It's already actually pretty nice. Alright, so that is done. I want to make sure we're going to turn off this also as RGB. Checkbox. It's pretty nice. Right. Now, let's create a material for all those guys here. I think I'm going to just create it here actually. So, right click material. I'm going to name it base. Just base. And then I'm going to go here. I need to drag some of my textures here. So I'm going to use diffuse, emissive, normal, and our occlusion roughness metallic maps here. I'm going to put those guys here. Normal will be here. Emissive will be a bit down. We need to make some space. So let's start with diffuse map. We're gonna right click. We're gonna search for chroma key. So MF chroma key. And we're gonna connect RGB to input color, and then emissive color will be base color. With this node, we will be able to change brightness, contrast, hue and saturation, whatever. So many things. Really nice. It's like a built-in Photoshop basically. Alright, so with normal map, we're not going to do that many things. So we're just going to connect this to normal map, which will be here. I'm going to put it here. Alright, so this is a bit more difficult. We have a lot of things going on here. We have 3 maps at the same time. So our R channel by default from Unreal Pact preset will be Fusion, which will be here, here. So G is roughness and blue is metallic. So now let's do some additional parameters. I'm going to hold down 1 and click. Now I have this value. And then I'm going to hold down M and click, and now I have multiply, which is very nice. Now I'm going to put multiply here and this here. I'm going to convert this, so right click on this one, convert to parameter, and I'm going to name this so G is roughness. So let's do row strength, right? Here. Now we're going to connect this G to A in multiply and this roughness strength to this one. And by that, we're going to connect now this to roughness. Cool. Now we're going to select both of those guys by holding Shift and Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V. Now we're going to do the same thing for metallic. So I'm going to name this met and connect blue channel to A multiply, and then this guy to metallic. That way we'll have more options to control. And at the very end we have emissive. So emissive is, so we're gonna also do the same thing here. I'm gonna Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V. So this guy may be here, so it's more aligned. Ideally this should be more aligned so we can read it easily. I'm gonna name this Emi strength. As you can see, I like to make shorter namings all the time. And then we're gonna connect this guy to here. And now, what else I would like to add here is changing the color of our emissive just in case, because it's easier to do it here instead of going always back to substance. So to do that, we're gonna hold down 4 and click. Now we have this constant parameter, and then we're gonna convert that to parameter basically, and then emi color. Cool. Now I want to connect this emission color to this texture, and to do that I'm going to multiply this by tick. I'm going to multiply this thing here, multiplier, and then we're going to connect this to this. And now we would be able to connect this to emissive color here, which is at the very top. Cool, and we're going to put this guy here like this. So this is our basic setup, very basic shader, nothing too complicated. Right. And now I'm gonna select all those guys here and then Ctrl S, just in case. Then right click on the base layer here, we're gonna create material instance, and we're gonna name this, for example, we have material instance D1. I think that now we're gonna double click this guy here, and we have our parameters here, as you can see. But one thing we don't still have is we need to apply our textures. Let's turn those guys off right now. Let's go back and do that. So base color here, I'm gonna convert base color here also to parameter. So convert to parameter, I'm gonna name this diffuse. I'm gonna name this one metallic roughness occlusion. This one will be, of course, our emissive, converted emissive. And then we have also normal map. Normal. Apply. And if we're going to go back here, now we have diffuse. Diffuse. Let's actually leave it like that. It's kind of fun. So yeah. So now we have those guys here, which is very nice. What also I think I will add another thing actually I'd like to add is to roughness. I'm going to put the value to 1 by default, and default also to metallic 1. So now it's not super reflective and it's close to the substance, right? Now everything is not super hard, and this should be also actually 1 if I'm going to refresh, but do it manually. But refreshing, all right. This is this, very nice. And now I'm going to close this guy, and now we have this MID1. Now we're gonna do the same thing, we're gonna Ctrl C, Ctrl V this guy here. We have D2 now, which is correct. We do have D2. Then here, D2. So alright, so we have D2 base color, D2 normal map, D2 occlusion map, and I guess we don't have emissive right now. We might at some point. Right, so we can save that guy. I'm gonna Ctrl C, Ctrl V this one again. And now we're gonna have P. Right, so I'm gonna rename this. So it's gonna be P. Double click. And now we're gonna switch everything to P. This normal, the occlusion. See. And then we're left with tires. C Ctrl V, name, and I'm gonna put this to T. And put to T diffuse, T normal, and T occlusion right now. So I don't have that much, I don't see that much of emissive, but it's nice. Might need to add it at some point. All right. Now I'm gonna go back here, and I have this bike for Unreal that I made, which is just a combination of the full model. So it's a one piece, but it has a lot of materials in it. Let's just drag it here, and it's, as you can see, it's kind of pretty small. Let's also rotate this guy. This. and then make it bigger. Something like this, I think. Right? Maybe even a bit more. I wanna. Right? So now let's go to, we have placed actors here, and we're gonna select some soft boxes. I'm gonna take this erect light, drag this into the scene here, maybe make it bigger. Actually, let's increase the amount of intensity of the light. Let's put it to 20, for example. Now we're gonna select direct light, just drag it to the scene here like this. Maybe let's make it brighter, stronger, faster as always. Faster light. Let's also maybe add some textures, since it's all about texturing. Let's put T to tires, P to this guy here. We have G2, which will be, I guess, this. Yes, nice. And then this is this. All right, so as you can see, it looks not lighted, like not bright enough. That's why we're gonna here. Let's copy this guy and actually put this top. This. Let's highlight some edges at the top of the bike. So maybe not so bright. Like this a bit here. That one. Again, not super much. Not super much. Whatever that means. Have this guy here. Now duplicate Ctrl Z and put it here. And maybe now this one we will make a bit less bright. And maybe this one also, because you see it's kind of too much going on. Have, oh my god, that's a light. Oh, it's light from, right, let's a bit maybe. Then this one we're gonna also move, so we're gonna highlight the tires like this, so not something like this. Then it's maybe maybe just and then we wanna stay here. Maybe let's just also add a light like that and something else. So let's make those guys. See, we have X process here. Let's make those guys move. Yes, we can. It's different. Click. All right, so this looks kind of cool. Let's adjust some parameters. So let's check our tire here. It might look a bit too rough. Let's go to T. And we have this parameters here. Maybe we adjust this a bit less. Just as you can see, we might need to adjust always something in Unreal. We have emissive here. Okay, let's go to P now. This is the main part. So I want this to be not very reflective. So we're here, something maybe. All right. Might need to adjust also the ladder there at the top. All right. So what else do we have here? P2, C. Guys, I don't want them to be super. Then it will make everything very metallic. We have D1. It's correct. And then let's check this. Okay, so you see we put it a bit more reflectiveness, just a little bit more. So this is default. This will be 0. Let's check. Now it's looks like got some kind of venom. Let's maybe make it less, like 1.1, something like this. You know, very little amount, but makes the difference. All right. One thing that I see that our line here could be maybe bigger. This one here. Let's make it thicker. It's actually even take a bigger brush, man. Hesitate. So it's gonna be more visible because before it was just too thin. Nice. Much. And okay. Those lines. Right. Now let's Control Shift E and we're gonna export. So we only change the P1 so we can also only export P. Now we're gonna go back to our Unreal here. I'm gonna close this and find P textures which are here and just basically re-import. Yeah, now it is more visible. Very nice. Okay. I feel like we need to something with the lighting that I feel like it might be too something like this. You see, it's much more interesting because now we highlight this area. Very cool. Maybe go to F10 mode. So now we can see more of that. Really nice. Very, very nice. Now, what we can do is go to content browser here. Let's play around with the E. So as you remember, we have these really cool parameters when it comes to changing the brightness, color, and whatever. We're going to go to key 07 visualization thing here, and we're going to put this to 1. So now we can actually use all those parameters, because before it wouldn't work. And we can adjust the brightness here. Yeah, let's do it like this. We can make it brighter. This, cool. And maybe adjust saturation. Let's see how it's gonna look like. Okay, so our every color becomes more like kind of burn. Also change the color of those guys here. Maybe would like it to be blue now. Nah, I think I'll stay with the orange. We also have gamma here. I'm gonna click here. Change this to now. Now it's gonna be pink because why not? I think let's maybe make it something like I don't want to add too much color, but I want to add just a little bit of a tint, if you know what I mean. Something like this. So now you see it's a bit greenish, but just a very slightly. I guess gamma is the gamma option. Yeah, now let's go. Let's go. Let's go somewhere else. So do we have emissive here? We don't. Should we have emissive here? Let's check. Should we have some kind of emissive? Because I want to play with emissive also. So turn off those guys. Should there be something glowing here? Maybe those guys can actually glow, but maybe those holes can glow. I'm not sure. We also actually have a glass. Let's go back to the glass shader. Make that one. So I'm gonna create a new material. I'm gonna name it glass, and I don't think we're gonna make a material instance, so we don't care. I'm gonna assign this to the glass itself. So now it's there, as you can see, it matches the board. From here, I'm gonna press 4 again, and I'm gonna connect this to base color, and I think I'm gonna change this maybe to some kind of orange color. Blah. I'm gonna press on the glass here, and I'm gonna switch this to trans. And then here we can press 1, connect this to opacity. Now, as you can see, by default it's 0, so that's why we don't see anything. We can actually change this to maybe 0. For example, 4. Now it should be more visible. I would say let's leave it and stay with this kind of quality. We might get back to that at some point. So let's maybe make it less reflective, or less transparent. Click here. Maybe 6. Maybe I change this color to maybe a brighter one. Something like that. Okay. And apply, and I guess save. Yeah, so looks a bit ugly, but we'll make it a bit better at some point sooner. All right. That is done. I think I want to copy this guy and maybe here, for example, and highlight more of the. I highlight the wheels here. Looks better. Now, let's go to, so we have post-process volume, which was created by going here, so post-process volume. We put it into the scene. So I'm gonna leave it. I think too much. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna adjust some stuff. So we have bloom. Might need to change this on intensity. See, now it's becoming softer. I don't want it to be super soft, but at least a little bit of that would be nice. Looks a bit more kind of cinematic, I guess. Exposure we have, so I put it to 3.3. As you can see, I'm gonna zoom out. The lightning or brightness doesn't change, which is really nice. Because before it will. We have aberration here. Let's see. Should we do that? We have this kind of weird effect that I think Bloodborne had. Not sure why. Maybe try to put it maybe to 0.2, for example. So it's not a lot, but just a little bit. Does it give us something? Not that much, honestly. dirt mask, camera, depth of field. Could go to image effects, yeah, Vigent. Add some Vigent, as you can see. It's on the sides. And maybe sharpness a bit. Sharpness. Cool. Very cool. What else do we have? What else do we have? We have a lot, thanks to Unreal Engine capabilities. Same situation. This I'm gonna change. This is gonna change the whole scene. So before we would be able to change only specific mesh on our, like a specific material on our model. Now we can actually change the full color of the whole scene. Very cool. I think I wanna adjust something. I did I click? I'm lost. I'm lost. Temperature, yeah. So we have some temperature here. Maybe make it more kind of bluish, cold. But again, you see, like it's very slightly, because it's so easy to overdo it. Honestly, usually it's the Instagram posts people do usually overdo it with the filters. So I wanna try to make it more subtle, so it's not the biggest chunk of this picture. Looks kind of cool. Let's actually go back. Let's do F10, and then we're gonna have this content browser. Yeah. Let's play around with the floor a bit. I think this could be also fun. So I'm gonna put it to the other screens here, and I'm gonna just try to change the color of the background here. This is actually not that bad. This is so cool. And before it was this. Maybe blue is actually not that bad also. I'll just leave it blue. Where's our layers? So content browser placeholder. We also have our here. It'll be easier. So we also have, let's press G. So now we can see all the lights here. I wonder if I can change. See, we could. What if we do one side, for example, one color? It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna do it manually. So we can add some color, some bluish, or I guess pinkish color here. This one is at the. Okay, we can also do the same here. And what if we change this guy? So it's a lot of experimenting going on right now, so don't blame me of like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. I'm just having fun. So you see now it's a bit more interesting, I would say. Yeah. All right, let's go back to emissive, our favorite part. I'm gonna save this just in case. And so emissive is where we have it here. D1, D1. I'm gonna have it here, D1, nice. And I'm gonna increase this amount. Nothing is changing. Let's check our base material here. This is this. Correct. Or maybe we should have it there should be a color. Ah, I know why it's not changing, because we also need to change this color here. So we can adjust. And we can. And now from here, we can actually adjust the color itself. I think we're gonna go with more orange one, because I guess by default will be our white one here. I think we need to also add some color here actually, like, or actually emissive. Let's do that. And I think this one here, this line is kind of like, if we add here emissive, then I guess we also need to add it here on those lines, which might be then too much of emissive going on, you know, it's like maybe too much. That's why I think I will remove it from there. So D1, yep. Remove from here, emissive is this. And then I guess this is this, but we somehow don't have emissive. Let's check why, because we don't have a texture here as it. So now we'll have it. So D2, let's check D2, and export. Let's go back to Unreal, and I guess now we need to add this specific texture. So D2 emissive. Right, I'm gonna open our D2 material, press this guy, and put it here. And now this should work. Also, we need to turn on our color here, which is good for, by default, it's just white, which is nice. Now we can add some, oh, it's actually also here. So you see now we have a lot of emissive stuff going on. Pretty cool. All right. Save this, control save this. Yeah, and I also forgot to export the D1 because we removed the emissive. Let's do that. Export here, and then it's D1. So we're gonna import this one, and now this emissive are gonna disappear. Ideally, yet still there. That's interesting. Let's also maybe, just in case, re-import all textures, because maybe there's something common. So let's check. Just in case. Make sure. It's actually, it was there. It was still there. I forgot to remove it. Okay, now let's do it again. And then re-import. Yep. Now it's done. Then we have it here, we have it there. Let's check our concept again. If we look here, what if we make this inside area darker? Because I feel like now, since we have all this lighting set up in Unreal, now we can actually see more what we're gonna get. And I think that this area could be a different color, in my opinion. Let's try to do that. Go back to substance here. And so let's check what do we have here. So this is this. This is something different. Yep, and I guess we can just take this layer. Let's ideally find it here, and luckily it's easier. Maybe we can even do it this. Okay, nice. Now let's export this and see. So D1 export, nice. Import, and now it's gonna be darker. Even though you see, like, yeah, I mean, you can see the difference kinda, but it's very slightly. So what if we're gonna go to D1, our material here, which is D1, D2, D1. what if we're gonna adjust some parameters here when it comes to brightness and contrast? So we're gonna go down here, put this to 1. Let's adjust the brightness maybe. So now it's a bit more. Yeah. Let's gamma again. See if we're gonna end up with something interesting. Let's try to 10. So now we can see more, and I'm also gonna zoom out. Also very important to zoom out to see the changes instead of just like sitting like this and thinking, oh my god, is it good enough, like, or not? Yeah, just zoom out and see if it actually works or not, if it's readable or not. Something like this. So you see, it's a very slight change, but I think it will be better. This. All right. That is good. That is good. We also have those bolts, if you remember on references, like those white ones, they were usually white and metallic, and in our situation, it doesn't look like it's metallic enough. Maybe we should change that. So our bolts, or I guess I named it screws, here, yep. Let's do something about those. So we can make them more metallic, of course, and I think they should be darker. What if they will be actually picking this color, orange color? Let's see. That's interesting. Maybe it's gonna be better, cooler, faster. The D1? Yeah, D1. D1. I mean, yeah, it looks kind of more unique now, I would say. More unique for sure. Let's try to have that color here, copy this guy, and then put it to other screws. Here we have, and put this guy here. Yep. And look at this, one guy wasn't actually colored. See you. Experts now have G2 also. Let's export both of them. Go here, and just in case I'm gonna re-export two of them at the same time. Yep. It's cool. I like how there's like, you see like there is more pieces out there that are popping out now, which is really cool. What else can we do? Because I would maybe like to highlight this area, like this part here. At the same time, because here everything is very nice. We have the missive, we have the lights, we have the passion, we have the talent. Maybe those guys. Let's do this thing here. Like, let's go to this area. Steel. So this is only on this layer. Okay, would be easier to change the color. So let's maybe make it brighter or darker, Let's try with the bright one first, and then let's maybe a bit softness. So this was D1, our favorite. Oh yeah, I mean now it's highlighted for sure. Is it better? Because before at the same time this area was kind of black, kind of darker. Because if I look side, maybe a bit darker. Let's maybe make it. I don't want it to pop out too much. Because our main area, ideally, yeah, maybe like this. Because I want to focus the viewer on this area. This is just details, basically. Right. Good. All right, so actually, let's go back to our leather here, because it looks like a concrete right now. I think it should have more reflectiveness. Let's save this file, and leather will be on our P. Then look at this. So many stuff going on. And everything is baked, everything is modeled, god damn it. Yeah, that was a nightmare. um, this one. All right. What else? What else? What else? What else do we need? I already forgot. Yeah, leather. Leather. You see the first thing that it's not like it looks like a concrete, not only from the kind of roughness perspective, but also from color perspective. So let's firstly just change the color, make it a bit darker, I think. Then we have this surface noise, whatever. Not that much color. Let's also check our roughness, how it looks like. So the brighter, the less. So if I'm gonna adjust this guy and do it like this, it should be more reflectiveness, more reflective. Okay, let's do this and then check how it's gonna look like. Speed here. Yep, yep. Now it looks much better, mate. Yeah. I think I'm gonna even leave it like that, honestly. Yeah. Cool. It does at the same time kind of blends too much with this area, you see? Like it's kind of almost like a one piece. If it wasn't for the roughness, it could be, it felt like it would be one piece. Let's then make this actually show, so darker or brighter. Let's check our value here. So you see, if you're gonna go too dark, it might be not very realistic like this, you know, because, but we can make it like this and see if it's gonna be better. So import here is standing out enough. I think it is actually. I think it is, and it's still not like at the very bottom of the dark colors. It's very nice. Right. Let's check our. These are a photo bash of two bikes basically that I did here. We do have another area actually that I think we haven't been working that much, which is this area. You see, like we could have some variety when it comes to colors. Here. Yes. Let's go back here and let's check what do we have there. Oh, actually, we also have some problems with this one. Shouldn't be this at all. This at all. Right. This. Okay. Right. Export this guy. Let's change something. Again, import, of course. Yes, or else nobody can do that for us. Perfect. So this area here. So of course it's D1, our favorite one. Oh, even though you see, like, even though it is a different color here, you don't see it that much at all. Well, of course, because of the lighting, sadly. Should I then just should I then just exaggerate and make this pop up more? Let's see where it is. What if we make this one? So let's see how much on that layer. So if I will make it brighter, I might at the same time lose this, but this, no, I think I will need to adjust those guys. Maybe here. Yes, so we need to adjust. No, it's actually this part. Damn it. It's always a challenge. This is P. Where is this area? It's D1, okay. So this one, I guess. Yep. Is it only here? It's also there. So we could make it, or actually it's only this. Okay. We could make this one actually brighter. It's metallic, we could make it maybe a bit more reflective and a bit brighter. Let's see. Real? E1. I think now this is brighter, which is very nice, but this is still, I mean, I guess it's just like, it's just because of the lighting. Even though it's changed, it's not like, I guess we do see a bit of a change, like comparing this to this still. Well, okay, it's just that area there, it's not like super gonna be important to show on renders. In this area here, you see we have this part. It's also the same, almost the same color. I want to change that one. It's so. Have a bit of tea. Oh. So that part is not here, which is D2, I guess. So it's kind of different color, but still with our lighting setup, it's not popping out that much. So that's, let's exaggerate this. Maybe since it's that part, what if we make everything brighter? Like this. Experiment. Was it D2? D2, D2, yes, D2. Yeah, I think it's better now. Yeah, it is standing out a bit more than before. Nice. Thinking, should we? Maybe I should also color those guys into metallic for me. Might not be very like makes sense in a way, but let's see. Metallic. This one. Let's just see. Quick test. It might be a stupid detail, like why is it like metallic there? And everywhere else is just kind of plastic, I would say. Sort of. Can it be visible? Yep. Right. Now let's see if it's actually gonna look cooler. That's how we're gonna add, like this. You see, like this is how I'm adding details without modeling anything. I'm just using the same design, but just dividing it by color or material. So D1. Import. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of silly, but like, why not? Why not? Yeah. Subscribe for the new content and feel free to join my Discord channel, where you can share your art and give ideas for the future videos. So thank you for watching.